Kia ora, and welcome back to New Zealand. Now, every now and then I get a bit of a thing in my head which says grab a film camera, rock out there and shoot some film. It sort of comes and goes and you know what it's like. Over the last couple of weeks I've been watching a few series of videos by fellas out there shooting film. In particular, Paul C. Smith, obviously, New Zealand based photographer, shoots a lot of film. Very good, very accomplished photographer. I enjoy his content, check him out. There's another guy in New Zealand, English lad called Stephen Milner. Again, equally accomplished photographer, shoots a lot of film, various cameras, various films, and he does some absolutely beautiful work. Again, check out his channel, some great stuff. I discovered a guy called David Hancock, and he shoots a lot of film through Minolta, and he's got a series of videos all about this bad boy, the Minolta Dynax 9 or Minolta 9. Now, I bought this camera back in 87, something like that. 87, 88, something like that, and I used to shoot, back in them days, I used to shoot a lot of sport for my local newspaper. It was a toss-up between either Nikon and Canon back then, because they were the sports photographers' cameras of choice. But I inherited an old Minolta 7000, the first ever SLR with autofocus. I inherited that from my old dad, and he gave me a series of lenses, and I kind of added to that as I went along, and ended up buying myself a Minolta 300mm 2.8 lens. Big old clunky thing. Loved it. So because I had that, instead of going the Nikon Canon route, I decided to stick with Minolta, and I ended up buying this bad boy. Now, this is the Minolta Dynax 9, like I say, and I used it for a couple of years, maybe 6-7 years, something like that, maybe a little bit longer, and then obviously the age of digital kicked in, and I bought myself a Nikon D1H, which was an absolute babe of a camera. Absolutely loved it until I drowned it again. Another drowning accident. I'm killer at drowning bloody cameras. Anyway, so so I put this bad boy in storage, and that must have been in the late 90s, I guess, mid to late 90s. So it's been in storage ever since. All the lenses, the range of lenses that I had, I got rid of them all. Stupidly kicking myself now, I got rid of them all, but that's the thing you do. You get rid of some gear to upgrade to different gear, and the only lens I actually kept for the Minolta was this. It's a, what is it actually? I don't even know what it is. 50mm 1.7 or 1.8 I think, from memory. Anyway, I thought I'd keep that, and one day, you know, the reason I didn't get rid of this camera is I absolutely loved it. You pick it up, it's built like a tank, honestly, literally. It's built out of an all metal body. It feels like a camera should feel. The ergonomics are absolutely second to none. Every time I pick this camera up, you know, intermittently I'll go into the storage shed and I'll just be going through my gear, and I'll pick this camera up, and instantly I just fall in love with it every time. It just feels like a camera, it looks like a camera, it kicks ass. But I've not put a roll of film through this, like I said, since the mid-90s. Discovering a guy on YouTube called David Hancock, and he does a series of videos all about this camera. So after watching that, I couldn't resist. I couldn't fight the urge to go down the storage shed, whip this bad boy out, and take it for a spin. There's a film in the camera, and it is a roll of 400. I don't know what it is. I'm guessing it's Kodak. I don't know until I use it. I don't even know how many shots are left on it. Let's throw some batteries into this bad boy, fire it up, familiarise myself with the settings and with the camera, the layout of the camera, the menu system. I can't remember if it's got a menu system. She's pretty basic. It's got dials. Look at the dials. They've got dials and knobs and stuff, and you know, you've got to turn them and twist them and make your photograph, not just take a photograph. I love that. That's why I love my X100F so much. The X100 series of cameras, Fujifilm, they've got dials. Everything's touchable and holdable and tactile, and you've got to play with stuff to get results, and I just love that. And just come down to the coast, and we'll just have a wander around the coast and see what we come up with. Moment of truth, does this bad boy still work? And yes, she does. Yes, she does. Okay. According to this, we've taken 14 shots on this roll of 24, so there's about 10 left, 10 or 11 left. So we'll burn this off pretty swift, and we'll see how we go. Oh, she sounds like a camera. No review on the back. Shit. Now what? Right, playtime. I think we'll put a strap on first. Sounds a bit dodgy. Actually, I mean that type of strap. Thankfully. Shot. Just coffee time. So just got back in the van from my walk. I spent the last few hours of the day walking around a little fishing suburb of Napier called Ahuriri. Absolutely beautiful little spot. And to be honest, there wasn't many people about. It's Sunday afternoon, middle of winter. It's fairly quiet. Not many tourists obviously in town because you know, who can fly these days? So what I did, I just had a nice steady walk around the suburb and just cracked off a few shots here and there. Some beautiful light at the back end of the day. Trying to make a couple of nice photographs. What I did notice, I caught myself at least twice. I caught myself taking a photograph and instantly looking at the back of the screen and being quite shocked actually that where's the image? There's no photograph. You know, is the LCD bust? It turns out, funnily enough, that the LCD wasn't bust. It is in fact a film camera, and film cameras do not have an LCD, obviously. But it took me a few minutes to get my head around that, just to remember that, you know, I'm going old school here. But to be honest with you, absolutely loved it. Finished off the first roll of film. I had about 8 shots left, so I just rattled that off real quick. No idea whatsoever what is going to be on that thing. That is a Kodak Max 400, which is about 30 years old, 35 years old, I'm guessing. Interesting. This bad boy is the one I bought today. That is just a Kodak 400. I'm guessing they're more or less the same film actually. I tried to make some nice photographs with this. Hoping I did. I'm quite hopeful of a few shots. The upshot is I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed it. I took my time, slowed things down. With digital, obviously, you just rattle off till you get a shot that you want. You look on the back of the screen and you think, that's just not quite right, I'll wait. Rattle off another shot, look, now, scrap, delete. With film, you can't. You're kind of waiting for the opportune moment because you don't want to burst through it and destroy your film in a few seconds. I was quite mindful of making a photograph rather than just taking a photograph. Whether I've succeeded, time will tell. I'm looking forward to it, looking forward to the results. Today's Sunday, I'll drop the film into the lab. They only process on Wednesdays because there's not a lot of call for them, so they'll spark the machine up. So I should have the film back and the digital scans, I should have them back by Wednesday afternoon. Looking forward to it, I'm buzzing, I can't wait. Really enjoyed that. Black and white next, definitely. All right guys, coffee time, catch you later. So it's 2 days later. Really enjoyed that shoot. Totally different shooting film than it is to digital. Really enjoyed it. Got a lot of pleasure out of that. The lab sent me through the scans this afternoon. I had a quick flick through them, put them in the cloud-based thing, checked them out. The first roll of film was pants. I just didn't really expect too much from that, and I got exactly what I expected. Jack all. Everything was blown. It was just all gone. It was absolutely terrible. What do you expect? Now, I did say earlier that it was a 30 to 35 year old film that was in there. It was actually about 20, 25, but it was shot, absolutely shot. So nothing usable from that film whatsoever. Expensive little experiment that one was. The second film, however, the new film that I bought, I'm really impressed with that. I got some nice shots out of it, nice colours, nice tones. I've scrolled through them, had a quick look and picked out some of my favourite shots, some minor little adjustments in Lightroom, dropping a few highlights, lifting a few shadows, a little bit of contrast. I like very contrasty photographs personally. That's my preference. So yeah, so I bumped up the contrast a little bit, added a slight vignette to a few photographs as and when. Everything I do it's not technical, there's no method to it, it's just the way I do it, and it's the way I shoot and I process to my eyes. And if it looks good to my eyes, that will do for me. It might not be to everybody's taste, but that's what makes photography so subjective, each to their own. And I'll keep all of the negatives just for future reference. If I decide to make a couple of prints out of these, which I may do, you never know, I may do. Doubtful, to be fair, because this was just the first test. There's one photograph in particular that I really do like, and that was the shot of the beacon on Perfume Point. That one's turned out quite nice. I really do like that one. So I may make a print of that. I don't know. I'll see if it grows on me a little bit. Anyway, so that's it, guys. That's the story of my little film shoot with this bad boy, and absolutely love this camera. And I have bought I have bought 4 rolls of film. HP5, which is, I used to use this back in the day for sport. I wanted T-Max 400 because I used to love the contrast on T-Max 400. They didn't have any, so she sent me T-Max 100, which is fine. I've never used it, but I am going to give it a go. Stand by for future videos featuring this one and these lot. All right, guys, for now, hope you've enjoyed this. Hope you've taken a little bit from it. I'll catch you in a future episode. All the best, guys. Kakite.